Hi folks, just want to show you a quick demo of EventCatalog Federation, what it is and how you can get started. So to give you an overview, EventCatalog Federation allows you to merge multiple catalogs into one catalog. Now why would you want to do this? It's because let's say you're a large enterprise, you've got many teams building different systems and you want your teams to own their own documentation. So what Federation allows you to do is these teams can own their own catalogs and document their own events and messages and queries and services and all the goodness that comes with that. And they can have their own catalogs in isolation, right? So let's say this team here, this customer experience team, is creating a service to manage various different users. And they can document this. They can document this using OpenAPI, Async API, any kind of generator or plugin, or they can just manually document this thing close to their code. So they have an event catalog in their repo. And the same for the other teams in your organization. Now, this isn't necessarily that useful because you could, in theory, deploy all these catalogs in your organization, but sometimes and I'd recommend having that holistic view of your organization and your documentation in one. So what this allows you to do is actually what Federation allows you to do is have your teams own their own documentation, keep that in their code. We're using docs as code here, so we treat our documentation as code and we have pull requests on it and all the goodness that comes with all of these practices. And then what we can do is actually use Federation to go in and pull all of these catalogs together and merge them all into one. Okay, so this is what Federation does. So let me dive in and just show you a quick example. So I have set up this is all on GitHub, by the way, which I'll share a link in the comments. But as you can see here, I have various different configurations. Okay, so now imagine these are 3 different teams and then I have a central catalog. So just to show you an example, here's the customer experience team that we just spoke about. They have their own event catalog. Inside here is the core. This is the event catalog configuration file. So they define some variables and all this kind of stuff. And that's it. And what they've also done is they have a service in here. The service has commands and it has a user service. We can see that this team has documented it receives these events and also sends these events and queries and commands. And then we have all of this down here like that. So when the team actually comes to run their catalog, they can actually run this in the browser. So let's go ahead and do that now. So I've gone into the customer experience team folder and just running event catalog like a team would, okay? So if I go back to the browser, we can see this is what the team would see, customer experience team, and they have documentation, they have their services, they click on this, and they can see all the things that are happening in this particular service. So me as a team, I can now control this. I can have my own documentation. So I can use the SDK, I can use the current integrations. This doesn't have to be manual. We can actually automate a lot of this for the team. And what this team would do is they would store probably this against their code in the organization, okay? So the other teams do the same. We have an order management team here and we have a payment team. So all these teams have their own event catalogs and manage this independently. So what we decide to do as an organization, we have a central catalog. This central catalog, it has a configuration file. So let's have a look at this. And what this does is this is a central catalog for Meta Retail Incorporated. And now we have the generators. So what's happening here? Let's walk through this. So we have the generator for Federation, and then we have the source. Where in Git is this thing? Okay, so this uses Git under the hood. So we're saying this is actually from the generator's repo. So this would be your team's repository, okay, or monorepo, doesn't matter where it is. We're saying the branch, you can specify the branch if you want, default is main. And then what we're saying here is we're going to copy some files over from your team's repo into this main one. Now you can copy everything if you want, all the resources, or you can target specific resources if you want. So this example, we're getting the services and we're copying it into the services folder because that's what Event Catalog expects. And the same for teams and users. We specify an additional override. If we find some merge conflicts, it will just override them. And we can also use this flag to enforce unique resources. What this does is it just enforces unique resources in Event Catalog, and Event Catalog will just make sure everything's unique and we don't have duplicates as we do this merging. So it's like the last right wins. That's kind of how this works. Down here we have the same, we have another one, we have the payment team, and we're going to get the payment information. So in here what you would do is you would specify the payment teams, GitHub, and you would copy the files over, and the same with the other team, which is the final one down here, which is the order management team, okay, and we're pulling some information there. So what happens is now when we actually run this thing in the terminal, now if we run npm run generate, what would happen is it's going to go and fetch these things, merge them, and copy everything into the existing folders and handle the merge conflicts and everything else for us. So you can see these have now merged into a view. So now if we run this, this holistic view of this catalog, and we go back to our browser, and now you can see this is the event catalog for the retail incorporated. So if I go to documentation, I can see all the events down here. All the events have different schemas. Let's try and find one. As you can see here, there's a schema here. And then we also have like an example curl command here. We can go to the visualizer, we can go to the services as usual and see what's happening. And every team is in charge here of documenting their services, their events, what they consume, what they send. An event catalog will merge all this into a view for you. We have the teams, every team down here. The team has different users and owners. They own their own messages and services. And they also have team members, which you can also document here. So this way it just gives you a nice way of distributing documentation for your teams, and equally putting them into a central catalog that your architects, developers, and business stakeholders can come and look at and say, okay, what is happening across this system? So just some governance at a high level here. So if you're interested in this, you can go to EventCatalog.dev, which is here, and then if you go to like integrations up here and just click on GitHub as an example, you will see this, click to get it started, and then you can see everything you need to know. So configuring your main catalog, configuring your team catalogs, how to get up and running, and that kind of stuff. So I hope that was useful. You can also go to the generators repo here. These will all be in the links below, and you can actually get up and running. So if you go down here, look at the examples and click on this generator one, the EventCatalog Federation, and the demo I've just shown, you can see this here and clone it, get started, try it out. If you've got any questions, feel free to join us on Discord or just comment below. So I hope that was useful. I hope that kind of shared a bit of light on what this generator can do. If you've got any questions or issues or feature requests, again, feel free to share them. Thank you for watching.